Welcome to episode 11 Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, we are going to be recapping episode 30 of Love Island USA. It has been a whirlwind of a few episodes where we've had a total of seven islanders go home since Thursday, including tonight. We'll break all of that down for you. But I'm joined by my podcast partner here, Ashley. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. The chat has already started. Ashley, we need to talk.
So this is my this so let me be this the first question, right? Okay. So first thing I want to announce is um I both Ashley and I are on vacation. Are you back from you're not back from
No,
vacation yet, right?
I'm on
So Ashley and
vacation.
I Ashley and I are on vacation today, but one of the biggest things that we talked about before we got on to vacation was that we needed to sit down and make sure that we were live Saturday night, Sunday night to make sure to bring out all of the tea to everybody here and talk about everything that unfolded. So it's been a crazy. I am currently sitting on hotspot in a closet. For those of you watching in a podcast, this is literally a closet. Um, but yes, I am excited to chat with all of you guys. I'm excited to break down the latest episode. I'm excited to chat, obviously, our commenters who are already locked and loaded because we have the potential return of America's favorite couple. And I have to put everybody on the spot about this before we the end of the show. But yeah, Ashley, I'm excited to chat with you. It's fun to really get into the thick of things with you today.
I'm so excited. There's so much going on right now. Like we didn't even get to talk about what happened Friday, right?
Okay, so first things first. I mean, obviously, can we talk? So this is a weird thing for me. Okay, so the games were like the couple rankings. We're not going to dive too deep into that stuff. But what made me mad about that entire couple rankings thing, and then everybody that went home with that stuff. The crazy thing about that whole entire scenario is the first portion of the show was based on votes that happened before the show, and then the voting of the people that were the worst people was based on what happened after the show. Ashley, take me. I think that both of those things should have happened before the show, and it should have all been equivalent because, like, there's that didn't make much sense to me.
It did, and it was kind of like a setup. Like we saw it, we voted before we could see the episode. So those votes went kind of eh.
Yeah, yeah, because like there would have been no way some of the people that were at the top would have been at the top. You know what I mean? Like that didn't make any sense to me. But I don't know. But Ashley, we had 5 people go home.
We had 5 people go home. We had our boy TJ.
Yep, TJ gone,
We had our girl Grayson.
gone. I don't even
We
remember who that
had
was.
we had our girl Jaden.
I don't really know who
Um,
that was.
we had who else? We
DJ's
had
girl,
who? Oh,
Andriana.
yes, Andriana. And the last but not least, your favorite, Mr. Austin.
It only took me 28 episodes to get that man out of the villa. 28, y'all.
Listen,
28.
we were waiting on the day. We text each other like we won.
We did. We
Game
did.
over.
And it's crazy. And real quick, let's Dwayne, Ashley needs to talk. I know Nicolandrio, we're gonna talk about that. Dwayne talks about Amaya being desperate. Uh-oh, we'll dive into that a little bit. DJ's here saying Taylor and Clark are the best couple. I've got thoughts on those two. Um, let's see here. Zach's in the house. What's up
Yeah,
going on?
Zach.
Dwayne said Austin. Exactly. We're excited to get Austin. But hey, you know what? Austin's got a black woman tatted on him, so we're good to go now, right?
Oh my
Moving
gosh.
moving right
I'm still
along
like,
on that note. Oh man. I got nothing to add to that. I just was adding my 2 cents on that note there. But yes, so this episode, we're gonna talk about episode 30 now, right? It opened with some interesting situation where it finally was revealed that Sierra has left the competition due to quote unquote personal reasons. I think The Love Island police came in there with their mask on, came in, took her, whipped her out of the bed, and said, "You're with us." Nick woke up alone and was like, "Oh my God, was Sierra kidnapped?" And he was like, "Uh, Alandria? Oh, no, what happened?" But so Sierra's situation played out. Everybody asked, and we can talk about this a little bit because I did some digging. We both did some digging.
Yeah,
The
for sure.
reason this situation played out a little bit different than Yulisa's did is because Yulisa had a video. It was a full video. You could tell it was her. You could tell it was her dropping the word. And you could see all of that play out. What they were worried about with Sierra's situation was if the story turned out to be false or edited it or repurposed for any reason, they would have been potentially had a lawsuit in their hands. So they put it into an investigator. The investigator did the background, and obviously, apparently, the investigator came back with what they did. Ashley, this finally played out after days and days. We saw the Instagram stories from family that were running the account that came out against and said, "Hey, we're taking a step back from running the accounts. Can you believe this is playing out in the way that it has on the show?"
I'm not honestly, I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked at the same time. I do like that Love Island did do their part by investigating things and making sure, they didn't just, hey, we saw this because it could have been fake. And I did see other friends that she is friends with that were on the show say like they don't condone with what was shown by her and they're taking a step back. And I mean, I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah, it's I'm happy that Love Island's doing the due diligence, right? You know what I mean? Because we live in a day and a world where there is a lot of edited videos. There's AI is crisper than ever. You know what I mean? Like, but there's a level of I don't know how to sound without the I want to like I want to see the initial reaction from the cast. No, not Sierra. I don't she doesn't deserve the exit. You know what I mean? Like if we're putting that in the bowl, right? I don't believe she deserves that exit, but I do believe it would be I don't say entertaining, interesting to just like how does that conversation play out with the cast? You know what I mean? Like, hey, we just ripped it and nobody talked about her. Like
Well,
nobody really talked about her.
the funny thing is I was watching a video the other day of Yulissa explaining how they did you see that video?
I did not break it down for us for maybe those who
Okay,
didn't see it.
so she posted a video explaining how they told her. She said she woke up in the morning, she went and had breakfast, her and Ace, because her and Ace were coupled together at the time. They were coming up with, hey, let's try to spice things up in here. Let's play spin the bottle later. She said the next thing I know, the producers came over to me and said that she's being asked to leave the show. And then she said she was in her hotel room for 2 days without her cell phone. So she didn't know what happened until she spoke to her mom. Like they gave her phone back.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I thought it
Yeah,
was pretty crazy. So I'm curious to see, like you said, I'm curious to see how the other islanders took it and how they were told because Sierra was a big part of the show.
this is episode 30. She's been there for 28, 29 days of the season. You know what I mean? Like that to me is where things get a little bit interesting in how things are going because at the end of the day, like we're on a show, we're trying to win money, we're competing. It's only one of two technical closed off couples at the time. Like it's a whole thing kind of unloading all at one time and she's got a strong alliance with all these people, and her name's barely mentioned. And I'm assuming what producers mentioned say outside of Nick, because you can't just have Nick wandering around. He's like, yeah, uh, I'm gonna find me a new gal now. My old gal's gone. You know what I mean? Like, it's the big problem is there, and Jimmy just mentioned it. This has to be the worst, but yet entertaining season ever.
You're
We text about
absolutely right.
this. We text about this all the time. It's like my thing is this is like the vetting process is not great. You know what I mean? It has to be better, you know? And it's almost odd because I would much rather see, like, people that have no idea, like, what in the world Love Island is almost, and I put them on the show. I don't want influencers and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
But
wanna
yeah,
see
I
the
don't know.
person that has, like, 50 followers. I see
Yeah.
Zach wrote, "Tell them to not mention her." I was surprised in the episode when, Nick did mention Sierra, like, just said her name to Alandria because
I think he was, like, the
honestly,
only one.
Yulissa wasn't brought up. It was like Yulissa left and everybody forgot about her, but granted, what was that, the first episode?
Yeah, like, she was kicked out episode 2, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, it is hard to do that. It's
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, just newbies. Exactly, that's when it's real, just newbies. I know it's hard to do that. I get it because finding 30 authentic people that just wanna go on a show and find love and potentially win $100,000 is hard, but at the end of the day, people are gonna watch whether you have an Ace that has 3,000,000 followers or you have an Ashley that has 3,000 followers.
Yep.
It's Love Island USA. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, that's why, when the whole Taylor situation broke out on Tyler situation broke out on Love Is Blind. Like, that whole situation was wild. It seems like the same people that did the background check on these people did the background check
No, they have a
on
whole
this
company
season.
at this point.
Yeah, but we're 7 seasons into this. You'd think they'd be a little bit better at unpacking
That's
some of these
true.
things, right, Ashley?
That's true, and I will say, like, the post that Ciara posted was in her stories, so that was
Right.
only up for 24 hours. So whoever was able to bring that back up, it's like they were waiting.
And it's it's interesting because 'cause I'm not gonna sit here and say, what she did, what she said is completely wrong, right? You know what I mean? Like,
No, not at
hey,
all.
if people are offended by the comment, then that I'm for that. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Like, I just don't understand. A, like we're digging up. It's weird. You know what I mean? Like, man, I don't know. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know
Like,
that
it's
doesn't Ricky does not like you like you think it's really crazy when people like dig up information from like, oh, he was 7 years old and he was picking his nose or something crazy.
right. Like we're digging. Like, I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like it's like, oh, Ace's yearbook photo. You know what I mean? Okay, whatever. That's kind of funny. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, that's
But like,
funny.
also kind of creepy. But it's kind of funny. You know what I mean? But it's like, how far across the line are we going to produce such
It's
a level of hatred?
You know what it is? People want others to know that they know these people on TV. So that's why we're seeing the high school pictures of Vanna, the elementary school pictures of Ace. Like they're like, "Oh, I went to school with this person."
Yeah, it's like we're running deep dives and we're having people that do deep dives criticize fans for doing deep dives. And I'm like, isn't that what your content is? Yeah, DJ's right. No lifers spending all day looking for stuff. It's crazy to
Yeah.
me. Like, what are we doing? It's just so much to me. Like, again, I'm not saying the situation's right, but I feel like we're getting further and further away from enjoying shows for what they are supposed to be and trying to ruin lives. Again, Sierra's situation is wrong, right? But trying to ruin these lives of these people. Why are you digging up all this information about this person? Why? Because you don't like what you're seeing on TV. That's it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and I think
That's
I
it.
think that is a lot of what happened, to be honest. Everyone wanted this Nicolandria situation. And they're like, "We're not gonna stop until we get it."
And you know what? We're back. We're
And
all
we're
the way
back.
back.
We're back, baby.
And it's and again, and I want to reemphasize that I'm not saying what she did is 100% wrong is wrong. But
Mhm.
again, you're digging up a story of us. Again, it's wrong, but it's just, I don't know. It just, I feel like we're getting further and further away. And I don't know. To me, I want to sit down and enjoy my show and enjoy what these people are on my screen. Are they finding love? They can create their own drama without all the drama off television, and that's what reality TV was for a long time. You know what I mean? Reality TV was, is we put it on. Exactly. Aaliyah said,
Mhm.
I think once Ulessa was kicked off the show so quickly, people wanted to see how far they can go and try to get someone else kicked off the show, and it worked. let's not forget, this has been out for a little bit.
Yeah, like I heard about this in the beginning of the season, but I didn't see many people talking about it.
Right. It
But
had I
now
think it kinda came out in that 1st week of the season, but
it did.
then when we were sitting here, everybody's like, "Oh, Nicolandria, oh, they're dead." I feel like at that time, it was like, "Let's push this to the forefront of the conversation again and figure out what's happening," because at that point, we can ruffle the feathers, maybe we can get Sierra out of the show, and maybe we have our dream
Maybe
situation back.
maybe this wouldn't have gone down if Ciara had stayed with Elin and then Nick had stayed with Alandria.
Right. It's weird. You know what I mean? It's weird. And to speak on that, Chrissy, brought it up, and we can transition back into the episode here. Not 24 hours back into where we're supposed to be, Nick is already sliding over to Alondria, which again, we know why, because at some point they knew a couple recoupling was happening, right? So because we know a recoupling's happening, he needs somebody to latch onto, and the only person he could latch onto was her because they have that chemistry there. What did you think of that? And we'll talk a little bit more about the recoupling later, but what did you think about the early process of this? Do you feel like it's forced? What do you think?
Now y'all know I love Nick Alandria. I'm when I see them together, I'm like kicking my feet up in the air. But at this point it does feel kind of forced. Like, okay, I get it. Ciara's gone. I will say Alandria, she's real because she could have picked Zach. She didn't. She picked Nick because she knew like they have a friendly relationship with each other. And I feel like he would have had her back too. Because when it came down to sending her home, he definitely said, I'm choosing Alandria to stay.
Now, this is an interesting question. Obviously, we see a couple comments in the my thing is this, okay? Nick and Sierra were closed off. What do you think is said? Because in my opinion, 20 this is like day 28 to through 30, right? When this happened. So probably day 28, 29. The morning of the 29th is whenever she's probably gone. What point do you not think, as Nick as a person, this is my person, I'm going with her?
I was thinking that too. I literally was thinking that. I was like, I wonder if, because there were speculations that today when we watched this episode that Sierra was going to be gone. I was wondering maybe Nick went with her because it's happened before. Season 5, KK left with Keenan. Keenan got kicked off. KK said, I'm leaving with him. So I thought that would have happened, but in the same breath, Nick is a game player. Okay.
Yes. I totally agree. Now, a few things here. Nick was never. I know Nick was never leaving. Yeah, I agree with you
No.
100,000%. He wasn't
Mm-mm.
going to, but we're closed off, and then somebody said closed off in just the house. So let's break down the couples real quick because there's somebody asked a question, and I'm about to pose this question to you, and I'm going to pose this question to everybody in the chat as well. Obviously, so a lot of not surprising moments happen. Ace and Shelly recoupled, right? No surprise there. Chris and Huda recoupled, no surprise there. By the way, I'm starting to like them more and more together. But I'm just throwing that out there. I think they're cute together. They're not going to make it outside in the real world, but they're cute
No.
together. Um, Taylor and Clark. And here we go. I got a rant. I like them.
Uh-oh.
I like them.
I can't lie, I like them too. I don't like the flack that Clark got. She didn't do anything wrong. Clark was she did what she was put in on Love Island to do, and it worked. So, yeah, I definitely do like them together. If this is like a real connection, I'd be happy for both of them.
Yes. And I like Taylor and Clark, and I like them a lot, and I like what they turned. And a few of these I want to catch up on just because they were funny. Let's see here. When you left the Islanders to vote off players like it's Survivor and Big Brother, that's why they have alliances. True.
Yes, that's true. But like Chrissy, I see your comment here, but that just reminds me of Love Island games. Like Love Island games, you can make an alliance. Like this is not Love Island games.
Look, Sister Recap said, Clark is a snooze fest. Look, Forever Autumn chimes in. I like them too, and I like Clark. I like Clark. I like Clark. We got a couple yucks in the chat here.
Oh wait,
Taylor always gives little bro vibes.
did you see what Zach said? Would y'all say this is still
Oh,
breaking girl code, even though she's not in the villa?
there was look, I meant to scroll back up to this one because I like this one a lot. Okay, now there's two sides to everything right now, and this is the big one for me because again, Alondria, girl, apparently. Okay, few things about girls here that we want to talk about. Okay, one, she kissed Ace outside of in a competition where you were supposed to only kiss your partner in Casa. So the person she should have been making out with would have been just Nick. But instead, she was on top of somebody's shoulders, swapping spit with Ace. Pretty sure she hasn't told her BFF about that. Nonetheless, while in Casa, made out heavily with Nick as they were exploring this connection, while both of them, really just her girls, including Sierra, were crying because she was just eliminated. Now, Nick and Alondria have now reformed a connection, and we're talking about, is it fate? Is this fate that it happened? Could this be maybe I should have been pursuing Nick the entire time, she more or less said in this episode. So my question to you, as a girl in the scenario here, how would you feel? Now we're not saying Sierra, you're not Sierra because we're not putting that on you because of that
No.
situation, but as Sierra, you go home and watch this. Is this breaking girls' code?
Yeah, I would think so. I do feel like Alandra feels some type of way with Sierra because Sierra stood in back of Taylor in the elimination. So Taylor got to stay. I do feel like she feels the way about that. But that aside, yeah, that is breaking girl code. Like you see them locked down for how many weeks and now you feel like it's fate.
Zach says maybe I'm Delulu, but I don't think she's broken girl code. I don't know about that. MAK. I don't like Clark. She acts like she won the prize, but it was only just Taylor. That's actually hilarious.
That's funny.
Yeah, King Cash. I guess movie night's not happening. I think what Ariana confirmed that more or less on Saturdays, from what I heard
Yeah,
on
I
After
believe
Sun.
so. I believe so. And that honestly was the best part. Movie night. So I
Yeah.
guess and it seems that a lot of these people wait like a year or two after the show to even watch it
Mm.
themselves. So who knows when she'll find out about the kiss.
Okay. So Christine, you have a good point. It's Love Island, not Friendship Island. No girl code here. Okay, I agree with you. However, when you're criticizing Huda for breaking girl code, then you can't be. That's where this girl code thing stems from. Them
Yeah.
talking about it so damn much.
I've never heard that word so much in my life. Like
Girl code, I
I don't
know.
yeah, the girl code. I'm just like, what, this is like a new word for everyone.
Definitely,
Um
definitely is. Yeah, especially how her and Nick kiss. Okay, so now the question to you, what we're going to talk about now is obviously we had a recoupling. We have all of our couples. Amaya Papa Papaya.
Amaya.
She she picked Brian over Timu, Jack Harlow, and Zach. So they said explore over 100 times this season. There's a few words that if you took a shot, you'd probably be dead. Explore is one of them. Girl code's one of them. Connections is one of them.
Yes.
But yeah, so we saw that happen. It didn't surprise you that Amaya picked Brian, right?
No, it didn't surprise me. But do you like that connection?
No. And I don't really like and how he treated her, love, right? You know, first things first, I really feel like Amaya's going to win the game, or win the show. I mean, I still
Love
feel
her.
like that, but I do have a second thought about that in a minute too. But um, I don't like Amaya. I don't really feel like I like Amaya with anybody in this house.
Like you just feel like her person is not here.
No, the only reason I do like Brian, and I'm glad she picked Brian, is because I didn't want the other 2 there, but Brian stood up for her, you know what I mean? I just don't feel like Amaya's person's there. I do still think that she could might potentially win this entire show though, too. Exactly, and Dwayne said it right here. They all ran to her after the results.
Yeah, it was
Bingo.
crazy. That like the way that even Zach, the way he was trying to get on her good side.
And she's like, "Nah, fam.
Yeah, I would be the same way. I wouldn't even had a conversation with him.
If you're not
Um,
my tea, don't be putting sugar in it," or whatever the hell
oh
she
my
said.
God. And I'm staying 10 toes deep, 10 toes. I'm like, oh
I
goodness.
love it.
Love
Yeah, she
her.
makes me laugh.
Forever Autumn says Brian is okay. I honestly don't like any of the guys for her. I want to see her win and to get a bunch of brand deals. Listen, that girl's gonna come out to brand deals. Ricky and I were just talking about that.
Yeah, she's never gonna have to work another day in her life.
No, she's no longer gonna
Um,
be a nurse.
all right. So what we're gonna do now, Ashley, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You didn't know I was gonna do this because we're on the fly here. So we have Chris Huda, Taylor Clark,
Kristen,
Shelly Ace, Nick Alandria, Maya, and
Brian,
Brian, and Pepe, and
Iris.
Iris. All right, so we're gonna rank the 6 couples that remain on Love Island after this episode. So give me your rank these 6 couples 1 through 6, and I'm gonna do the same as well.
Okay. Number one,
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Iris and Pepe.
Oh,
Yeah, I know you didn't expect that one.
that was a curveball. I didn't see that one coming.
I knew
Okay,
you were gonna expect that
okay.
one. Okay,
Okay.
Iris and Pepe, and then
Uh,
I'll do. You're gonna hate me for this one. I'm gonna do Amaya and Brian. I love
okay.
Amaya, so like I just want Amaya to get this money and just live her life.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, I'm gonna say Ace and Shelly.
Okay.
Who's after this? I guess Huda and Chris. I like them together. I'm not gonna say like I do. I like them together. And then is that one more left?
Yeah, you have Taylor and Clark, right?
Oh, Taylor and okay, Nick Alandria and then Taylor and Clark.
Okay. Yeah, I
I'm
forgot
I'm
Nickelandria
I'm
too.
still I'm still a little salty. I really
Quick.
wanted Taylor to be with Alandria.
All right. Christine says Nick looks happy with Alondria. Ashley and Ricky on vacation. I am in Pensacola, Florida. Ashley.
You're
Yeah.
in where? Oh, where? Oh,
I'm.
I am in Georgia.
Oh, sweet. Um. Let's see here. Winning couple connected the final week of the show. Sad. I want Amaya to win. Alondria and Nick were original in the alliance with Ace, so I believe Alondria is playing the game to win. I hope Brian steals the money. Christine's vote: Shelly Ace number 1, Nick Alandria number 2, Iris Pepe, Chris and Huda, Amaya and Brian, Taylor and Clark. All right, here's my rankings. Let's spice this show up just a little bit with my
Oh,
ranking. Okay,
Lord. Let's hear
number
it.
one, number one, I've got Taylor and Clark. Number 2, I have Shelly and Ace. Number 3, I have Chris and Huda. Number 4, I have Nick and Alondria. 5, Amaya and Brian. 6, Iris and Pepe. I am voting based off of connections. That's where my vote is. Now, this is one question I have for you. We are sold on the idea that Amaya is going to win, right, Ashley?
I want her to. I really
My
do want Amaya to
question,
win.
does Nick and Alondria stand a chance now that they've reunited to win this
Yes.
show?
Yes. People
The
are
stands are
already
hot.
going crazy. They're already going crazy about this. Did you vote?
I have not voted yet.
I haven't voted yet either.
I'm going to vote as we're on the show.
Let's do it.
All right,
Who
I'm
is your
voting.
favorite couple? And they have Brian and Amaya first. Pre Casa, Ace and Shelly had this in a bag. Then Shelly messed everything up playing games over Chris. Yeah, I agree with that. They should have been locked things down because honestly, they would definitely win this whole show. Yes, we love Nicolandria. Forever Autumn says, I wouldn't mind Alandria winning, but I dislike Nick. Ace, that's who you chose? All right, let me lock in my vote. Y'all know who I'm going for.
Oh my God. Get out of here with that.
You know what? I'm going to switch it up. We go on with Nicolandria. Let's see how this goes.
Oh my goodness. You are one of them. You're one of them. Oh my goodness. DJ, Dwayne, somebody
Listen,
come in here.
I am not gonna lie. I love seeing them together.
Yeah. Their chemistry
Listen,
and the way
it's
they
gonna
look
be
at each other.
Nick. I'm sorry, Nick was not looking at Sierra like that. But you know, they don't show everything. DJ is mad. He said, "Why?"
Yeah. Thanks for voting for Nickelodeon. Look, that's my thing. I'm telling you, they have if they ride this the right way this week, if they ride this the right way this week, Nick and Alondra could win this show.
If they take it serious, if like they really focus on each other, I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I don't. It's interesting. I mean, anything to make sure Amaya 3-day relationship doesn't win.
No, I feel like her person is not there, but I would love to see her on another show.
And I'll tell you what, Nick and Alondra, the thing about it is I actually enjoy the idea of them potentially winning because it would actually be a couple that is a couple to win. You know what I mean? Like they are. It's not like they're brand new. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, I agree with this, Jamie, and DJ does as well. I don't get people voting for individuals to win, not real Love Island fans. They won.
I know, but I feel like with this season, there we don't have a couple.
Yes, we do. We have Taylor and
Ooh.
Clark, Shelly and Ace are our two strongest couples in
So
this
yeah,
show.
that's pretty much all we have are those two options at this point.
Nick has the look
No,
of doom and gloom whenever Sierra brings up life outside the villa.
I mean, I think they have that conversation, and
Yeah.
Nick was like, "What exactly does that mean?" She's like, "Well, it's I think it just happens in this world, like inside of Love Island." He's like, "Whew, okay, cool."
We got one couple out of last seasons of Love Island, right? Well,
No, we got Leah Miguel, we got
mhm.
Serena and Cordell, and we got Janae and Kenny.
Are they all
Kenny.
together?
They're all still together.
Is anybody here gonna watch Love Island? What is it called? After the
Beyond the
Villa?
Villa.
After
It's
Beyond the
any
Villa?
yeah, I would like to know if anyone in the chat will be watching Beyond the Villa. Yes, the
Yeah,
three couples
we're
are still together.
yeah, Ashley and I, obviously, we all know Love Island comes to an end this Sunday. We will not be live this week. We do have a special episode of the Love and Reality podcast dropping on Tuesday night. Tuesday night, the episode will be dropping. We have a special guest joining us to break down the Ultimatum Queer Love Season 2. The podcast version of the episode will drop on Wednesday, and then we will be live Sunday night for the finale of Love Island USA. We're very, very excited about that. Where the show goes from there, we're still trying to figure out because we are only like a mere 2 weeks away from Perfect Match Season 3 starting. We have a few other shows dropping, including Building a Band, which starts on Wednesday. A show I highly recommend checking out if you can see it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens this week on Love Island. We are officially what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes left of the season out because I don't count the Saturday
Chapter
episode.
1.
So
Mhm.
so we're thinking about Big Brother. We're trying to debate on Big Brother. We're trying to the goal of the podcast is to make sure that we're not super duper behind on live events, and we're thinking about it, and we're going to see what we can do in order to break down Big Brother. as well. But yeah, it's been great. This season, we're looking for a new show that we guys will be on this podcast platform every Sunday night, no matter what we're covering. Though our goal is to cover on Sunday nights, so that you guys can join us Sunday nights to have these chats with us. We appreciate the love throughout this entirety of the season. You guys have been crazy in the chats with us, and we love that for us. Makes the show a lot better, makes it a lot funner, and we do appreciate that. But remember, as we do each and every week, before we leave, we have to give Ashley her minute to unwrap whatever she wants to unwrap from this episode or this season of Love Island, whatever she wants to say, unfiltered, raw, just crazy minute of Ashley giving us the business. Floor is yours.
All I have to say is, Nicolandria, we back on top. We are back on top. I know Ricky's upset. He's shaking his head. But just know that we needed this. And I know that the families are supposed to be coming on the season soon. So I'm excited to see how that goes. And I still love Amaya Papaya. But definitely, Nicolandria, we're back on top.
All the way back. Guys, thank you. Dwayne said, Ashley, stop. Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this special episode. Just special because, again, we're out here on vacation. We're dropping the episode. But thank you guys so much for tuning into the episode. Ashley, thank you for joining me tonight. This is a little bit of a crazy episode. I'm in a closet, I'm still here in this closet. I literally have a vacuum cleaner right next to me. You know what I mean? I got vacuum tools
We
next to
do what we have to
me.
do to get where we need to get.
But thank you guys so much for joining me and my vacuum cleaner piece here that I don't even know the Turbo Brush 3000. But thank you guys so much, and we'll be back next Sunday live to break down the finale of Love Island USA Season 7. Bye, Autumn.